Alright, so I was gonna make a video with gaskets on my Skyline because I blew an exhaust gasket. Then I realized that's kind of a boring video that I might save for a rainy day. How about holograms? So I don't know how to do an intro, so let's start this puppy. Alright, so this is it's a hologram I bought from Wish probably a few months ago. And, you know, it comes from China, so I'm not exactly sure how good the quality is going to be. Also, you know, it could probably give me a life-threatening virus, but that's besides the point. So basically what it claims to do is it claims to throw a hologram on the windshield of a car. And I figured, what other car would be cooler to put it on than my dad's Jaguar F-Type? You know, why not? So basically, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna try this puppy out, see how it works. Alright, so this is the stuff that it comes with. It looks like the first one it comes with is like an instruction manual and how to do the settings and stuff, you know. Just basic stuff that you're gonna see with any kit like this. That's upside down. Just any stuff you're gonna see with a basic kit like this. So here we have this cord and wire thing. Now this obviously plugs into the, gosh, what's the name? I completely forgot because I usually work on old cars, so this is all new to me. I don't know what this is called. I'll probably look it up when I edit this video. But yeah, that basically plugs in the thing where the mechanic plugs in to figure out what's wrong with your car, and it's gonna go into this, and we're gonna figure out the readings. This thing right here. Now this is pretty much the star of the show. This is gonna be what throws up the hologram onto the windshield and all that jazz. So yeah, it's gonna show the revs, it's gonna show the speed, and a few other things that I don't know. It's gonna show you basically a little quick overview of everything that's going on with your car that you might need to know, whether you're racing or you're shifting and all that kind of jazz. This is the little reflector doohickey. You're gonna put this on your windshield. This will catch the hologram so it's clearer than if it was just on the regular windshield. The camera's having a lot of trouble focusing because it's clear. Oh, you can see my face. So yeah, that's gonna basically, that's where we throw the hologram on. And last but not least, we have this little gel thingy. Now, this gel thingy is used to hold the hologram bar thing that I showed you earlier. And basically, we're gonna put that on the dash and then stick that on top of it, so. This whole kit's basically around like 30 bucks. You can find it from Wish for probably cheaper. You can find it from a few other things. Be careful when ordering it right now because obviously you get the Wuhan virus you gotta worry about. In fact, the reason why I'm home is because my campus got shut down, so more at-home videos. People are dying. I probably shouldn't joke about that. Alright, gotta make sure my hat's actually sitting right because that thing is always off apparently in the videos and it irritates me. So yeah, we're basically just gonna go put this on my dad's Jag and see if this thing works or not, see if it's worth the money. So first, we're gonna start on this. We're gonna start on this wired doohickey, where basically this will plug into the. I still don't know what it's called. It'll plug in the under here. Now this can be any color. It can be pink. The one under here is actually tucked a little further back, and it's actually black. So I'll get a close up on that right now. So basically, just plug it in. The wire, luckily, is luckily the wire's thin enough that you can run it through a lot of different things, and you don't have to worry about crunching it. So it should fit. Plugged in. Now we're gonna find a place to run the wire. Alright, so as you can see, I was able to attach it and push it right through here where it's barely visible. Now, obviously, to some people this will be a problem and they won't like it, but you know, my dad barely remembers my birthday, so I think he won't even notice this unless I specifically point it out to him. Okay, so one thing I actually was impressed about is the fact that it works, like, really well. And, you know, it's a little hard to figure out how to set it for miles per hour because it comes stock with kilometers per hour. and Celsius and all that jazz, but it actually works really well, and you can see it clearly. So now I'm gonna take it for a test drive. All right, so time to start this puppy up. All right, looks good. Revs are reading all right. Okay, let's take this puppy for a ride. I really hope you guys can see this, because if not, this whole drive out thing is a waste. Well, not for me, because I get to drive a fast car, but you know. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually holding up with the dash pretty well. So far that's a good sign. It seems like it's giving me an accurate reading. What's it called? Oh, it's doing the revs thing too, where it's like the car automatically turns off when it stops, and it's showing that off. Wow, I'm impressed. What's good about this thing is it lets you see your speed and your revs and all that kind of stuff without even taking your eyes off the road. So just as long as you don't like focus in on that. See if it beeps it. Okay, so that's cool. It starts beeping at roughly 5,000 RPM, which is actually really helpful if you're kind of slacking off. So, wow, I'm actually very impressed by this thing. What I like about it is how clear it is. Like, you can see this thing bright as day, and it's actually a pretty good real-time measurement. So, for 30 bucks and you get a hologram up there, that's actually sick. Obviously, there's a way to change its red line, but I didn't feel like learning how to do that, because I'm gonna be honest, there's a slight learning curve, because the manual is not very good. Basically, the manual says you gotta click the wave button, but when it's showing you the what's it called? But when it's showing you on the pamphlet, there's nothing labeled the wave button, and there's nothing else describing it. It's like it says press the wave button. It's the first time they bring it up. So the manual is really not that good. Yeah, look at that. It says 26 and 26. It's decent quality for something that's, you know, so cheap, which is probably the thing I'm impressed about the most. Plus, it's just a cool feeling when you punch it in the automatic mode and it goes past 5,500 RPM, because that's where the red line is, right? And you have the car screaming, and then you just have the... It's fun because you have like the car screaming as you're as you're going at past 5,500 RPM, and then everything's beeping, and it just sounds like you're really pushing the car, and you know, it's just a fun thing to do. So if you have a lower RPM, or actually, I'd be surprised, you can probably set it at like a specific time where it tells you when to shift. So if like, say like you're learning manual or something like that, this thing could be very, very helpful. So it's not only just cool, it's a good tool. Because, you know, they have like things that they have shift lights that'll probably cost you like 50 bucks or that kind of stuff. You need to specifically wire it in, but this is a good like $20 to $30 alternative for that. Because you don't even necessarily have to have that thing up in front. You can just use it for the shift point. It is a little hard to see in certain sunlights, which granted it's going to be on anything, because, you know, it's clear. It's going to be hard to see in certain aspects, but, you know, I'm actually very impressed. You hear that fart can? Cheesy Pete's. This is how a real car sounds, man. Okay, so overall, I'm actually really impressed with this thing. Not only does it like look cool, it also has a customizable like shift alarm, where say if you're learning manual and you need to remember to shift at like 5,500 RPM, that's just the red line of my car. If I put a computer in my car, I could set the shift point to that. That way I could, you know, shift. And, you know, I wouldn't forget and wouldn't have to risk blowing the engine. It's cheaper than a rev limiter, and probably cheaper than a lot of things that do the same thing. So even if you don't like the look of the hologram, you can just plug it in and tuck it somewhere. I was also shocked about the quality. It has an automatic light adjuster. Granted, there are some light levels, like if it's super bright, you can't see it, but you know, then you can just look at your actual dash. But I figured that it's bright enough that you can see it in most things, and you don't have to take your eyes off the road. It also has different settings. You can have it set the car temperature, voltage, speed, all that stuff. You know, you get to see all of that. And it's actually a good just little heads up display that shows everything you need. Now, the downsides. One downside I have is that it is a little bit of a learning curve to kind of, you know, learn how to use it properly. I myself had to fidget with it for like 20 minutes because the instructions were listing buttons that they hadn't listed before, so as a result I didn't know where things were. But you know, it's got enough of a learning curve where it can be annoying, but you can figure it out yourself, no problem. Probably the last thing, there's no exact instructions on how to do it, but granted, you know, you just followed the guide that I did, so I guess that's not a problem anymore. Overall, I'd give the product probably a good 8 out of 10 when you think about how much it was, because it was 30 bucks at most, you know, and we probably got it on a Christmas sale. I got it from Wish, so it's probably like 12 bucks or something like that. You can use it as advertised, or you can just use it as a kind of shift light kind of thing for $12, so do with that what you will. It's just a good, cool toy. You know, it's rice, but you know what? Some rice is fun. It's fun rice. And honestly, I would definitely recommend it for people that want to have like a tiny, sleek, futuristic look. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I upload videos just like this every single week. You know, sometimes I talk about car events, sometimes talk about new cars, sometimes just talk about random stuff in between. Once again, I'm partners with Amazon, so if you click the link below and buy anything from Amazon, doesn't matter if it's what I linked or just something else. If you buy it the same 24-hour period as you click on that link, and you're on the same tab, well then I'll get a little commission, you know. Every little bit helps with the channel, so I'd really appreciate if you guys thought of that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm a small YouTube channel. I appreciate anything I can get, any like, any comment, any subscription, you know, it goes a long way for me. Make sure to click that bell too so you can be notified whenever a new video comes up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.